Okay, so things that you're going to need for blocking purposes. You're going to need to have access to room temperature water or lukewarm water. So, you know, sink, bathtub. I'm just going to use my bathroom sink here. Actually, let me get the water going first. So, sink, bathtub, you know, something like that. That you can get, sorry. You want it to be, it definitely cannot be hot, okay? You don't want it hot at all. Just like lukewarm or room temperature, you know. Some people do it in cold, but I guess I always prefer room temperature. You want to have a big enough area, so like a bathtub, kitchen sink, bathroom sink, a big tub, or pot, just something that you can fully submerge your project in. All right. Excuse all my face products. That's obsessive. I was just recording, I'm looking over and I'm like, that's obsessive over there. Okay. Now, what you want to do is plug up my sink there. My water is pretty much, you know, I can't feel it really. It's the same temperature as my hands. Lukewarm, whatever. And, okay. And then we'll go get the project. Alright, as your water's going, you want to take your item and fully... my water's getting a little warm. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. You know, fully submerge it in here. Get it all soaked, all, you know, flattened in there. My water's going to start going out my top drain there, so I'm going to have to shut it off here in a minute. Nothing like the smell of wet wool. For reals. I like it. I already took my water off. Okay, so let me dry my hand and grab my phone with it. Okay, so what I do is kind of splash it around, hold it down for a minute, make sure everything gets nice and wet. Now, if you want to set something on top of it so it's fully submerged, you can do that. I don't do that. What I do is I let it soak for about 20 or 30 minutes, and I'll come in here about every 5 minutes or so and give it like a, you know, a squish down and maybe, you know, flip it a bit, you know. But you can set something on top to fully submerge it if you want. But me, I just come in and, I don't know, a few times during the 20 to 30 minutes, you know, and splash it around a little bit, you know, so it's all getting soaked up, because that water, especially, you know, if you're using wool or cotton, you know, natural fiber, it's going to soak up in there, and it's going to really loosen your fibers and allow it to stretch. And that's what you want, because that's what's going to make all your crooked edges straight when you pin them down. And it's going to make all your lace work open, and when it dries, it'll stay that way. All right, and now we need something to block it on. So I'm going to let this set, like I said, 20, 30 minutes, something like that. That's usually what I do. All right, let's go see what we're going to do next. Okay, for blocking, I use blocking boards. You do not have, or blocking pads. You do not have to use these if you don't want to. Now, you can use a rug, carpet, a mattress, just anything that you can get a crap ton of pins to stick in and hold your shawl in place. Depending on where you live, or how warm your house is, I guess. Usually it can dry. Well, mine usually dries, if I do it at night, it'll be dry in the morning. But, you know, more and more colder climates, it might take a couple days to dry. So make sure wherever you lay it out that, expect it could take, you know, a couple days to get it completely dry. And you want it completely dry before you take it off the mat. So these blocking boards I've had, you can get them on Amazon, but they just stick together. I like them because they have the lines on them, so I can kind of line things up correctly, but like I said, you don't have to do that. So I'm going to set these blocking boards up real quick. Alright, and then you're gonna need a whole bunch of pins. Especially for this shawl, you're probably gonna need quite a few. I use these T-pins, but you don't have to use these. You can use the ones that, you know, have like the little ball on top. Doesn't really matter, but that. Probably gonna need a bunch of them. I got my blocking boards down. This is 27 of them, but I might need to add another set. To see, we'll see how big the shawl reaches across. All right, so I'll show you what we're gonna do next. Okay, so you're gonna need a towel, which I have laid down, and this has been soaking for about 25 minutes, and I've stirred it a couple times. Now, what we do is we can go ahead and let the water out if you want. You need to pick it up and gently as possible wring out as much of the water that you can, you know, but do it gently. And then what we're going to do is roll it in the towel to get the rest of the water out. So what I'm going to do real quick is pull it up and wring out as much water as I can. And then when it comes time to roll it in the towel, I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, so I wrung it out the best I could, and now it's laying on my towel. You can see it's not really laying that good. It's kind of folded up a bit in here in places. For some reason, I grabbed the smallest towel that I had. But that's okay, that's okay. Now what you want to do is just take it and at the end and start rolling it. I'm sorry, it's hard to do one-handed. Rolling it up. And as you're rolling it, squeeze it every once in a while to get the water out. So let me roll it up a few times. Maybe here. My goodness gracious. Okay. And then what I do is push it down as I go. This helps get that excess water out. Check as much water as possible. That way it dries faster, you know. You don't want a wet, sloppy mess on the blocking board where you block it. But you still want to be as gentle as possible with it. But you can, yeah, just be as gentle as possible. But, you know, it's not going to hurt it if you press on it and stuff to try to wring the water out. And squeeze it some more. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. Rolling it a couple times, and then I push it as hard as I can so I can feel the water coming up through. And then if you want, after you do this all the way down and you still feel water coming up through the top, you can get another dry towel and do it again. Just try to get all the excess water out. If you feel like there's still a lot in it, like maybe sometimes it's hard to get it all wring out, you know, in the sink. So I do this, and if I feel like there's still a lot of water after I do the roll, then I'll just grab another towel and a dry one and roll it again. So this is how this is done. Go all the way to the end. So what we're doing now is wet blocking. Wet blocking works best for natural fibers. Now, acrylic, steam blocking works best for acrylic. I don't steam block. I guess. You can do it with an iron. Now, you can wet block with acrylic. It just doesn't work as well as steam blocking does. It's not gonna hold its shape as well when you undo the pins, acrylic, as wool. That's why I said in the beginning that it's probably better to use a natural fiber if you could for blocking purposes. But if all you have is acrylic, you can try wet blocking. Like I said, it may not, what we're doing right now, and when it dries, I can't say that it's gonna stay exactly the way you pinned it. If not, you can look up on the internet. There's a lot of YouTubers that have tutorials on how to steam block. You can steam block with your iron or a steamer if you have something like that. But basically you can, you just use steam, and it kind of just melts the acrylic just a bit to where it doesn't move. You can actually do something called killing the acrylic, And that's where you use so much hot steam on it that it pretty much kind of doesn't, it gets hot and it doesn't move anymore because some of it's partially melted. So it like won't move its position at all. Even after you wash it, it'll just stay in the same spot. So yes, please look up those methods of steam blocking if you're using acrylic. If you want to try the wet block though, that's fine too. Could possibly work out for you. Or it could work good enough that you think it's okay. I think mine's okay. All right, so I'm going to take this to my blocking board. All right, so I got mine laid out. I am going to have to add another blocking board here. This is going to stretch out, but I don't think it'll stretch clear to the bottom. But all right, so what I like to do, I don't know how. I don't know. Let's do it this way. Anybody can do it, you know, their own way. I like to start at the top, and I use these lines as a reference. That's why I like these blocking boards. I usually start in the center of my shawl. Make sure your shawl is facing the right side. It's facing up, okay? And what you do is you get it where you want it. Stick a pin in it. And we're going to do this all the way down. This one, I'm afraid, will probably take quite a few pins for the whole shawl to open up some stitches and whatnot. You know what I mean? Get it all in its place. So I'm going to go across the whole top here, and as you can see, this wall pull up, and then pin it all down. And then I'll have to add another blocking board over here, but I'll get to that because I don't quite have enough. And I'm going to get that pinned down. Yeah. Pinning it all down here on the straight across. Alright? And then what we'll have to do is work our way out, just like this. See that? Now those are going to stay. Remember how they were kind of all foldy and weird? We can, when we pull them out, we can pin those later. We'll work our way down, of course, so like I said. And we get everything situated. We pin it how we want. And the bottom will have to come down. And yeah, well, let me get the top done real quick. All right, so the top's pinned. And now I've started pinning the rest of it. You can see. Just slowly pulling it out little by little. Kind of starting from here and pulling it out. And then placing some pins. And then pull out a little bit more, kind of pull the center out down there, and then you can kind of get a gist of the shape you got going on here. Pinning or blocking sometimes can be a lot of work. This one probably is more than what. It's a lot too, but yeah. So basically, you just want to, it's going to take a lot of pins. And pin everything exactly where you want it to be, you know. So you can straighten up your baubles and then, you know, stick a pin in them. Just whatever you think looks like it needs to be straightened. Open up your lace work a bit like this. Now that necessarily probably won't need a pin in that, but just open it up a bit. So you'll be able to see, now you can see that splatter stitch really well. And this has got a curve too, so make sure whenever you let it dry, that's curved. Well, it's supposed to be, I guess if it isn't, whatever. So I'm going to keep pinning and I'll show you when I'm finished. Alright, here it is. I use about 150 pins to pin that bad boy down. Alright, so I just pinned it everywhere I could. I pinned it and pinned it. So that's it. Once it dries completely, make sure it's completely dry, then you can unpin it. And that is a task on its own, just to unpin it. And then it should hold up pretty good. And if it, you know, you're not liking the way it looks after you take it off the pins, you can wet it down and repin it because it would already partially be stretched from the first, you know, blocking. So, oh, another thing that I did here, I haven't done it yet, but just to show you, get these little beads from Walmart. What I'm going to do is just hot glue them in the center of the little pearls. Hot glue them in the center of each of these flowers. These flowers will poof up a bit after they dry. They're a little flat right now because they're wet. But yeah, so yeah, I'll just hot glue them. I found that hot glue and yarn are like a match made in heaven. Once they're together, they never separate. Ever. But if you want to do that, you don't have to do that. But if you want to, you can sew them on as well. Here they are without beads. But I thought they looked pretty with the pearls. But nothing you have to do. But yeah, that's it. So, this was really fun, and thank you everybody that participated. It was a lot of fun. Even though it took a long time. It took a long time to record it, even longer time to edit it. It was fun, and if it does well, I'll record my next, because I like to make shows like this a lot. I just never put them on YouTube, you know, because a lot of people think that these are too hard. Plus the amount of time it takes, like I said, you know, you see how long the videos are. The amount of time it takes to record them and edit them. When I do one by myself, you know, I can have it done 15 times faster, 20 times faster than I could recording it. But I don't mind doing them, recording them if people like them, or, you know, if people watch them. But most of the time people just say things like this are too hard. So that's why I don't ever put them on YouTube when I do them. So, although they're not hard, people, everybody, you guys, I mean, I think sometimes people see something and they think, oh, well, wow, that's just way too hard for me. No, it's not. You know the basic stitches. That's all it is. Well, it's stitches formed from the basic stitches. That's all any crochet is. So you can do any of it. Trust me. Plus, I'll show you the way. You got it. All right. So, thanks. I can't wait to see yours. You guys show me a picture on my Facebook page, Instagram. Email me whenever you get yours done. Excited to see what yarn you use, what yours looks like. And until next time, thanks again for joining, if you did, the crochet along. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. Another one down. Another one bites the dust. Bye, guys.